It was a new relationship and things were really, really good.
I could tell how happy she was.
My parents, they got concerned.
She had to choose between Joe or her family.
He was losing control.
That was when he finally went full psycho.
The scene itself just looked like a nightmare.
When I looked at him, it wasn't human. It was evil.
911, where's your emergency?
Oh, God, you gotta get someone over here. Why would you do something like this?
Morgantown for me has always been like a place of community. Everyone is everyone's neighbor. And honestly, like if you don't know anybody there, it won't take 5 seconds before you already have a friend. Like it's that kind of community.
My mom and dad moved us here in 91, 92. It was a fabulous place to be raised. I love raising my kids there.
We were all living in one house. It was my mom and papa, and then my sister, my parents, and then my mom's siblings, and then Angie's kids were there as well.
Angie had a boyfriend in high school, and they actually went on to have 2 children. And then things did not work out between them, and they separated. Well, our parents were not exactly thrilled because both of us became young mothers. They basically were 100% supportive. Yep, we were very, very close.
Angie was the best sister. Me and her, you know, we're only 2 years apart. With her, she was my best friend.
She was free-spirited. A rainy day, she came into the room, you would never thought it was raining.
Oh, Angie was a firecracker. She always had the loudest laugh. You know, that was just infectious.
So me and Angie, we went and got food. And she said, I'm gonna tell you something, but you can't tell mom and dad. I was like, okay, lay it on me. What do we got? And she's like, I've met someone. I was like, well, okay, like, what's his name? Joey.
I remember her saying that he had come to her work and he was kind of like following her around the store, maybe found her attractive.
Angie was very into like the emo scene, dark clothes. She was like a rocker girl. Joey was very much that rocker type boy.
I remember it like when she brought him over. You know, mom was very on the defensive, very protective. And dad was like, well, let's play this out and see, you know, prove to me that you're a decent person, you know, prove to me that you're good enough to date my daughter kind of thing. I talked to Joey about that, and I went up to him and I was like, she really likes you, she really cares about you. Please be good to her. He said that he would.
I remember the first time that I met Joey. I was at my mom and papa's house and I was sitting in the living room, and that's when Angie walked in with Joey. I remember he leaned down to show me the tattoo he had on his shoulder, and it was a 666 tattoo. I remember his exact words to me were, I got this tattoo to show that even in good, there's always some evil.
Growing up in Morgantown, a small community, like, I mean, we were raised Christian, so when I seen him with all kinds of tattoos, like, I was like, okay, like, I don't know really how to feel about this.
Morgantown is very small, pretty tight-knit community. Everybody knows everybody, basically.
I think with Joey, it was outside of the norm of what you would expect to see in really anybody in our community. It kind of drew Angie in the sense of like this was something different.
She seemed happy. It was a, new relationship, and things were really, really good. In 2012, Angie and Joey decided that they were going to get married.
I asked her, "Are you sure you want to do this? Does he make you happy?" And she said, "Yeah, he does."
We did a little reception at my uncle's house, and everything went really well. I think in the beginning, she seemed happy. He treated her older two kids okay, and I think that we were happy that she was happy.
We were absolutely delighted. And nice to see, her and all the kids, just happy.
Angie decided she wanted to be a certified nursing assistant. She loved it. She loved it so much.
Her and I worked together at a long-term care and rehab facility. Angie not only, worked her full-time hours, but she worked overtime every single week. A lot of times we would go in together and we would actually work like doubles, which are 16-hour shifts.
My sister, was working almost every day. But later on in their relationship, we started seeing he would not work. He wouldn't work.
I remember he got a job one time at, I believe it was a UPS shipping facility. He worked there for maybe a few months, and then he quit. And then his reason for quitting was that it was boring, and that was it.
What made me more mad than anything was that Joey would get mad when she took days off, when she didn't pick up a shift. He said it was lost money that she wasn't bringing in.
He liked being home. He liked, only doing those bare minimal things, and that Angie not only paid all the bills, but she got to where she was even giving him an allowance.
He told everybody that it was because he was a stay-at-home dad.
The house never got cleaned, and I remember that. Like, I saw that. The house was a wreck. The kids were in dirty clothes. Laundry wasn't done. I wish I would have said something then. But, Angie was doing everything that she could.
This man didn't even have, a driver's license. If he needed to go anywhere or needed to be dropped off, he had to wake Angie up to do it.
The more I got to hang out over there, I guess Joey felt like he could be more comfortable with, me around. Playing on, video games, he would get, violent, yell, throw the controller. And so for me, it was if he's acting like this, now, what's he doing behind closed doors? Angie, I was like, is he violent towards you? Does he yell at you? Does he hit you? All the time it was, no, he doesn't do anything like that. Joey wouldn't do that. Something in my gut was just I don't like him.
I started asking questions, and then Angie kind of lost contact with us.
My parents, they got concerned. Even her phone had been shut off, or she had gotten a new phone number, and so no one had a way of communicating with her.
Looking back, I guess that was the beginning of him just trying to gain control like just trying to maybe distance Angie from mom and dad.
My whole family, if there's a reason for us to get together and celebrate something, we're gonna do it. We have 50 people that show up for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, and all of a sudden she was not showing up to those things.
He just kind of, slowly did it over time. It was, oh, I don't want to go. If you go, you're saying that it's okay that they don't like me, that they treat me differently. Then she would be guilted into staying home. Joe definitely had put a lot of just strain on Angie with making her feel as if she had to choose between Joe or her family.
Me, mom, dad, everybody, was blocked. Or like on Facebook, phone numbers, all that.
I remember mom crying about it. I remember dad crying about it.
I remember they were in the church parking lot and we had pulled up to park and we went to say hi. Joey, kind of shoved the kids in the car, shoved Angie, and they sped out of there. And I remember my mom and papa being like just so upset because they just wanted to see their daughter and their grandkids. And I was worried for my Aunt Angie. I was worried for my cousins.
That is what prompted her mom to reach out to the Child Protective Services.
That's whenever, I guess you'd say, everything started hitting the fan.
The house was a wreck. It was disgusting. It was awful. Like, honestly, if social services had seen the house like that, those kids would have been removed right then and there, no questions asked.
It really did escalate because my parents were so immersed in their grandkids' lives that someone to just say, no, you're not seeing your grandkids anymore, was just heartbreaking for my parents. They were the type of grandparents that always wanted their grandkids around them. They were happiest when they had all their grandkids around them.
I think for mom and dad, they feared for the safety of the kids, and I think they knew that maybe they could do something to help those babies.
I think her mom thought, if I can get the kids out of there, then Angie will follow. But that didn't happen. Joe was able to really spin that and make it to where her mom was now the enemy.
Her kids had practically been raised in and around my parents' home. All of a sudden, they were not allowed to be around any of our family.
Mom and dad not seeing the grandbabies hurt mom and dad more than anything else. I remember Angie reaching out to dad. She came to the house and she started crying and she hugged dad. And she's like, I'm so sorry for everything that I had done. It was heartwarming, I guess. But it felt good because it was a bridge. It may not have been a sturdy bridge, but it was a start.
She finally started to come back around, and Joey would also come around with her. They would typically visit for about an hour at a time. It would be an hour on the dot, and Joey was, okay, it's time to go. We need to go home now. It was like she was a prisoner, and this was her hour of recess. In 2013, Angie and Joey had their first kid together. That was Violet, a little girl. And then they had their second child, Archer.
I think that she really thought that maybe that was going to make him change his ways, that maybe things would turn around.
Shortly after she had Violet, I remember her telling me she couldn't be around any other men at all without Joe. He would, go through her phone, her text messages, her Facebook, and then that would turn into, a confrontation with him. He would push her, he would hold her up against the wall. When he got something in his head and wanted to fight about something, there was no getting away. She had tried to leave before, and he would tell her that if she didn't come back or if she didn't talk to him, that he would kill himself, that it would be her fault.
She did leave Joey for a very short amount of time. She moved in with Mama and Papa and all of us with her kids. That was when she started to explain, Joey is abusive. He refused to get a job, and that when she would get paid, he would take control of her paychecks and her bank accounts and basically just leave Angie with just enough money for the bills. We were all just kind of leave him. You cannot put yourself through this. You can't put your kids through this. You have to get out of this relationship. And she would be like, I'm going to. And then she ended up going back with him.
It seemed like it was just a back and forth. And it became almost exhausting, where it was they'd be okay for a couple of months. There'd be a fight. She'd leave. She'd stay at Mom and Dad's for a few days. They'd make up. It was a cycle. It was a cycle.
Every time she would run away from him, she would run to my parents. And so there was always just that fear that, they're going to be caught up in the middle of this.
Joey would send threats all the time, telling her, I'm going to put a bullet in your brain, your mom's brain, and your dad's brain if you ever leave me.
Joey came to the point where he was being more aggressive, being more violent, and Angie, she knew she couldn't do anything if she was dead. She couldn't protect her babies if she was gone.
So Angie had called me on Facebook. I messaged her as soon as I had woken up. And I was like, hey, what did you call for? And then she said protection. Joe had me pinned in the bathroom. It got so bad.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back. This was when she said, I've got to get out of here. I've got to do something to get out of this.
I knew that he was going to do something. I knew he was going to take matters in his own hands, and I was scared for him.
We are all at my cousin Renee's house, and we've got, a fire going, and we're roasting marshmallows. I see my mom answering her phone, and I said, what's going on? She said, don't say anything. Angie left Joey. And again, in my mind, I'm just like, oh, here we go again, for the umpteenth time.
I sat there and I remember saying, I was like, I won't believe it until the divorce papers are signed. I told them that. I was like, I won't hold my breath.
She was different this time, and she was done. And it was very evident that she was done.
I asked, I was like, well, how's he taking it? And she was like, oh, he won't stop blowing up my phone. Like, I have to literally, like, put him on, like, do not disturb. And I'm like, really? Like, that much? And I was like, so now that he realizes what he's done and what a piece of trash he is, now he wants to come running back. And Angie's just like, he's got nowhere to run to. She was like, I'm done with him. I loved hearing that. That was like a weight off my shoulder.
Those first couple of months, I was skeptical and I was thinking, okay, like, this probably isn't gonna last long, but I'll just enjoy it while it is, you know? Then, you know, it kind of got to that point where it had been the longest she was away, and I could tell how happy she was.
It's like 7 a.m. I'm sitting there in bed and I just, hear, a knock at my door. Then the door just opens and like she's standing there, hands on her hips. She goes, "New me. The world is my oyster." She's like, and I am finally taking a hold of my life.
We were thrilled. I mean, the whole family, it was basically like a party. I mean, we were so happy that she had left him.
Angie eventually met somebody new, and when I say that he was a complete 180 from Joey, I'm happy to say that he was. Like, she didn't have a bad word to say about him,
Wes, I mean, he loved her so much. He was just smitten with her. He treated her nice. He wasn't pushing her out the door, saying, it's time to go, it's time to leave. He just had a great relationship with all of us, Christmas was really great. We had everybody there. And it was probably one of the most, like, stress-free Christmases that we had, especially with Angie. We knew she was done with Joey. We knew that this chapter was kind of closing, and we were just so happy for her, and happy for her kids, and it was just really great. I think she finally opened her eyes to, what he's doing is wrong. It's always been wrong. I can get out of this situation and be okay. And I think that's when she finally decided to put in the divorce paperwork.
When she finally decided to divorce him, he wouldn't sign the papers. But I know for a fact that she did. She had a lawyer. She had everything. She even sat there, got a new phone number, got a new bank account, like everything to separate from him.
His state of mind at that point when the divorce papers were coming was not good. He was angry. He was just constantly texting my sister, calling my sister, harassing my sister.
When she wasn't answering, he was calling her oldest daughter. He would call her mom, and then he was calling her dad. I mean, they weren't even able to use their phones because he was just constantly calling.
He was losing control at that point, I think, and that's what started to scare him.
Joey started to tell Angie that he was depressed and that he wanted to kill himself, and started saying, like, some very disturbing things.
He threatened to drink bleach. He also made the comment that he was going to do it whenever he had the kids.
She told him She doesn't feel comfortable leaving the kids with him by himself because she was worried that he might actually kill himself in front of them, and she didn't want her kids to see that. And so she told him, like, I need you to get help. I'm gonna keep the kids away for a little bit. I think that was when he finally went full psycho.
He did threaten her life. He said, like, if I can't have you, no one can. He threatened mom and dad. One point he said, if there was a real life purge, he was like, I'd go to your mom and dad's house and kill them.
Her lawyer did suggest that she gets a emergency protective order against Joe. Her and her lawyer had decided it was best to have no contact, no telling Joe where the kids were, of what, they were, what they were doing. It was basically just gonna go cold turkey.
Myself, my parents, we all said, we're scared for you. We're scared for you, Angie. I'm scared of what he's gonna do. What if he shows up?
This is one of the texts that Joe had sent. Okay, I'll give it to the end of the day. Then, like I said 2 days ago, I tried to play nice, tried to leave it be, but now you are not replying and not answering, so I will be handling things accordingly. Reading this, I don't think that she was thinking that this meant that he was going to show up with a gun to her home, but now we know that that's exactly what he meant.
Where's your emergency?
Oh my God, my son, he just, oh God, you gotta get someone over here.
Ma'am, what is your address? Where's your emergency?
Oh my God, my son, he just, oh God, you gotta get someone over here. I just brought my son here to pick up the kids. Oh, why would you do something like this? Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Oh,
Ma'am, I can't understand you. Now, is it your son that was shot or her?
her.
My cousin is at home. Her husband is on fire and rescue, so he has a police scanner, and it came across that there was a male not breathing on Lonnie Snodgrass Road. They even gave the exact address.
I was in my office when I got a message from my cousin. I got told that an ambulance is heading to my house.
My dad had COPD, he was 79, he had health issues. I actually thought that it was something with my dad.
I was working at the hospital, and my brother Jonathan calls. He sounded troubled, and he was like, Tony, I think something's going on with mom and dad. Can you go check on them? Can you go and see them? And I was like, okay, yeah.
I reached my niece, and she said, Joey showed up with a gun. She said, Mama told me to grab the baby and go to the closet and lock the door. I'm calling my mom, and I'm calling my mom, and I'm calling my mom, and she doesn't answer.
I was at work that day when I got the call from the Kentucky State Police that we'd had a homicide. When I got to the home and made entry into the home, obviously it was unlike any crime scene I'd ever been to before.
The current time is 11:10 at the scene of a shooting. Be doing a walk through the residence.
As you breach the door threshold, Miss Carey was located prone on her back. She had substantial wounds evident of gunfire. A few further feet inside the residence was Miss McGranahan. To the area on the wall and just above her head was a blood pattern impact that indicated that she had been shot at close range. Located on the couch of that residence were multiple casings, indicating that Joseph Carey had entered the threshold of that door prior to firing on Lupe McGranahan.
We're currently in the living room area, transitioning into the dining room, kitchen, magazine floor, multiple shell casings.
As you made your way in through the residence, was various casings scattered across the living room and the dining room floor, kind of indicating the path that Joseph Carey would have taken as he had entered the residence.
This is the laundry room area. Additional individuals deceased.
Chuck Woody actually was located inside the utility room.
It appears that the incident was contained to the interior of the residence and the front driveway.
You know, the scene itself just looked like a nightmare and a normal life of people that had been interrupted by, just a horrific event.
They already had a state trooper that was blocking the road. And so I pulled in.
We get there, I see some ambulances, and I keep thinking that like my mom or dad are gonna come out of this ambulance.
A first aid responder, she just looks at me and she's like, starts shaking her head and she's like, "I'm so sorry." She told me that Joseph Carey showed up with a gun and shot and killed my sister, my mom, and my dad.
My brother comes to me and he says, "They're all gone." And I said, what do you mean? I'm like, "What do you mean they're all gone?" And he said, Joey showed up and they're all gone. I didn't really know what to do at that point.
We remember seeing Joey get taken in a police car. I remember that. I'll never forget, I locked eyes with him too. And when I looked at him, it wasn't human. It was evil.
The police already had him in custody, and he was transported from the scene to the state police post where they conducted a full interview.
We now needed to determine what would cause Joseph Carey to essentially execute all three individuals of his very close and immediate family.
I wasn't there. I didn't get to speak to you the first time. So if you could just walk me through your day, kind of let me know what happened and what your thought process was.
I went down to go speak to Angela, the mother of my kids, my wife. She came to the door with the door closed and was like, "You need to leave." I said, "Can I just see the kids? That's all I want." And she said, "You can talk to them through the door."
Mr. Carey, he had stated that he'd gone to the residence to get the children. I believe they were in the process of getting a divorce, and that he was trying to see the children.
And then that's when Lupe, Angela's mother, told Chuck to get the shotgun because I was staying too long. And that's when everything kind of went chaotic. She said, "Go get the shotgun." And I seen him passing through to the actual laundry room where I knew they kept the shotgun.
I think Mr. Carey wanted to convey to us that he had made those actions because he had been forced to make those actions.
But really the thing that you're saying escalated the situation today was Loopy telling Chuck to go get the shotgun.
Yes. I was trying to save myself and the kids. That's what went through my mind. Was just not letting him get a shotgun to where he could do something. I don't even know how in my mind my solution was better. I should have ran or something.
Has Chuck ever pulled a shotgun on you before?
No.
Kerry stated multiple times that his primary concern with Chuck is that he was going to retrieve specifically a shotgun in the house that he knew or suspected to be located in the utility room of the residence. Chuck did enter that utility room. There was a shotgun present in that utility room. However, it wasn't loaded.
I mean, I can't tell you any more than what I've already told you, really. I just said get the shotgun. I panicked. I did. My anxiety kills me most of the time, and when I heard that, my heart rate went boom. I followed him. I just boom, 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 right, you boom, 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 right, and then boom, boom, boom.
I'll interject this. I'm willing to play to buy your I panic story. I'll buy it. She had no firearm. She didn't accost you. She didn't assault you. She was in no way, shape, or form even arguably a threat.
Yeah.
She made no motion to a firearm.
No.
And you shot her.
Yes.
I think it's very important to remember that Angie McGranahan and Lupe McGranahan were found in very close proximity to one another, neither one of them having a gun on them, and that he had no right, Joseph Carey, to take their lives or to come in that home at all, even if he thought someone was going to get a gun.
So I've been listening to what you're telling me, okay? And some of the stuff's not adding up, okay?
Okay. I'll tell you right now, I'm guilty of what I did. I'm not gonna sit there and around and say I didn't hurt him or kill him.
Well, I mean, we know that. What we're trying to understand is why.
I'm telling you it was panic, but I ain't gonna lie to you, there's probably more to it than that. But I honestly jumped when I heard the shotgun thing. That was just after the perceived threat.
Well, you was after one of three.
Well, I understand that, but I'm saying that was my main goal, was to stop him.
But what I'm getting at is Lupe was this way, he was this way.
I get you.
Your wife was here, he was this way.
I get you.
I think he was very much aware of the decisions that he was making while he was present. I think he was aggravated with the custody agreement, and possibly emotions were slightly elevated upon hearing that his kids would potentially be taken from him.
Yeah, after I shot Chuck, I walked back by Angie, and that's when I heard the Google noise. That was bothering me a lot. And I think, I can't tell you for sure, but I do think I did shoot again to get it to stop.
He was charged with 2 counts murder, 1 count murder, domestic violence, and I believe 3 counts of wanton endangerment. The Commonwealth of Kentucky is a death penalty state, and we knew most likely, just given the numbers of deceased individuals on scene, that would most definitely be something pursued by the Commonwealth's office.
When the suggestion of death penalty came up for Joey, I was in full support of it. The sooner he's dead, the better. I'm not gonna lie, the plea deal turned my stomach. After the evil you committed, you somehow still think that you're worthy of a plea. It was only after Blake explained that with a plea deal, it's done, it's over, there was no appealing. It was life in prison without the possibility of parole.
In looking at intent in a case like this, of what Mr. Carey's intent might have been, I believe he went to that residence to kill Angie McGranahan. I believe that Lupe and Chuck's deaths were just a result of them being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Joseph Carey shot Angie simply because she made it very clear that he was not going to have access to the children.
It was obvious that this was really just a cold-blooded, brutal murder of 3 people, 3 lives taken away from a family. that just really added another level to me of evil.
He was a monster, and they were 3 beautiful souls who were loved and just missed every single day. And every day is hard without them, even now.
They were definitely a safety net for me. You know, I felt like I was a tightrope walker, you know, and if I did fall, like, they were there.
My sister lived for her kids and ultimately died for her kids. And there's no greater sacrifice, you know.
I can't sum up one thing I miss about Angie. I miss my best friend. I miss my storyteller, my secret keeper, my confidant. Because she was that and more. And not a day goes by that I don't think about them.
You're in the hot seat now for some real serious offences.
Not interested in it. You're being accused of an armed robbery.
When a criminal strikes...
Money now. Don't put me till now.
Listen to me. Do anything I perceive to be a threat to life, you'll be shot, do you understand?
Terrified victims deserve justice.
To have something like this held to your throat, absolutely petrifying.
It's innocent people going about their day-to-day lives. They didn't deserve this in the slightest.
First, detectives must identify a suspect.
This lad, it's him.
Suspect's quite prolific. We really need to get this guy in custody.
Police! Drop to your knees! Do not move! Right, under arrest.
Get him over for me now, innit?
Next,
Police!
they must hunt for concrete evidence.
Ooh, it's like George in the jungle in there.
That's him, innit?
Ah, perfect.
Then question the suspect face to face.
This is your opportunity. If you're going to tell us something, you tell us it now.
Did you put the knife to his throat?
Absolutely not.
What are we doing? Going out there. You come up. Get out of my way.
Will the evidence stand or fall?
That is that. That is that.
Will the suspect confess or deny everything? Will the police uncover the truth in time?
24 hours is a very limited period of time to carry out a full investigation.
Because time is ticking and we've got 8 hours left.
The best way to safeguard the public is to have the suspect in custody and remand them to prison.
Boom! All the charges, yes!
This time...
No! Smash my windows and everything. They're in my house.
A violent burglary and home invasion.
Literally in within a matter of seconds to go through something like that, it's just harrowing.
Detectives must find the gang before they strike again.
We're dealing with some really dangerous people in this investigation. We really need to get them into custody.
Homicide, please, what's the emergency? There's people in my house. Homicide, please, what's the emergency? Hello? There's flash runners and everything. They're in my house. Right, listen to me. What's your address, please? No! There's nothing here. Please help. Please! Hello? Hello?
Police trace the call, and as units are dispatched, another call comes in from the same property.
He just took it now!
Hello there. Sorry, what's going on?
5 men have just booted my door off, smashed all my windows and assaulted me. They've assaulted me, missus. They've got my car. They've got my car. Yeah, they've just come in here with knives. There was loads of them.
All right, get your doors locked so nobody can come back in. We've got officers on the route for you, okay?
How far away am I, mate?
The next left.
This one?
Yes.
The first unit arrives at the house where the violent assault and car theft has occurred. 2 adult victims have minor injuries, but are able to give statements to the police.
Over 5 males have come into the address with axes and bats. The house is absolutely ransacked. They've come through the window. The male party's been caught on his hand by grabbing the knife from the offenders. They've punched the female. She's got a black eye.
The victims describe barricading themselves into their bedroom as the masked men broke through a window and door and confronted them.
There's damage to an upstairs bedroom where they've used weapons to get through it, potentially using an axe to get through the bedroom door. They've taken the vehicle keys and left in his vehicle.
Right.
They've taken the female's phone as well.
Right.
They're just trying to get it on Track My iPhone to see if we can get a location for the phone.
Right.
Yeah, these offenders have also made threats towards the male and female party.
Disgusting.
I know, it's sickening.
Do we know who it is?
I'm going to get photographs, OK?
Officers must act fast to find any leads that could help identify the suspects.
They've gained entry through the window, got damage to 2 front windows. There is blood inside the address, it's on the banister. There is also a sledgehammer outside the front of the property. And there is a vape underneath the window where the broken one is.
Shortly after the home invasion, police track the victim's stolen phone to an industrial estate.
None of you have touched this, have you? No.
With the serious and violent nature of the crime, detectives from Scunthorpe CID have arrived at the scene and are being briefed by officers.
So there's a sledgehammer out front there. So they've come through this window. That vape pen belongs to the suspects because they don't vape. Right. It's come out of their pocket. It's not been touched. I've got photographs of it in situ.
Right.
So this potentially could be suspect or victim's blood. He has grabbed hold of the knife that they've had and he has got a minor cut. It's potentially the victim's, but we can't rule out whether or not it belongs to the suspect. I'm not 100% sure. So that's been secured. It's not been touched. It's got photographs. They've then got through the main bedroom, potentially using an axe to get through the bedroom door.
So what have they taken?
They've taken the car.
Why have they targeted this address?
I don't know. The CCTV's up here though.
The home has CCTV covering the front of the property.
Is this one of the offenders? If we can play it, just play it through. There.
Jesus. How many was there?
For free just for the log as well. There is CCTV at this property and it has captured the suspect gaining entry and leaving.
It's now clear there are 5 attackers. But the question detectives must answer quickly is who are they?
No!
In Humberside,
I haven't got any money.
There's nothing here!
a violent burglary involving an armed gang has left a family traumatised.
Over 5 males have come into the address with axes and bats. The house is absolutely ransacked.
So, please can you have a look at log 508 of yesterday, please, which is an aggravated burglary.
Due to the serious nature of the crime, the case has been escalated to CID. Leading the investigation is Detective Sergeant Anthony Stead.
5 males have gone to your targeted address. They've got with them knives, an axe and a sledgehammer. The lads get inside, they assault the victims, and then they've stolen victims' phone, and one of them has gone downstairs and picked up 2 vehicle keys. One of the males goes outside, unlocks it, drives off. Victim got like a bust lip and some other bruising to his face, and then our female victim's got a cut just to the side of her eye where she was hit with the back of one of the knives. The outstanding actions, of which there are a lot. Forensics, so one of the actions will be to see what we can fast track. House-to-house and CCTV around the offence location, please.
Yeah.
If you can get the 999 calls today, that would be brilliant, because apparently they're very impactful.
And we've literally got nothing on any of the 5 suspects.
Nothing.
Detectives must try and establish if there was a motive behind the attack.
Homicide, please, what's the emergency?
I haven't got any money.
Please, there's people in my house. Just let me go. Please. Homicide, please, what's the emergency? Hello? There's people in my house. Smashing my house.
I haven't got any money.
We can hear on that call that they've gone there looking for money. It could be the wrong house that they've picked on. It could be a debt that's owed. It could be anything.
Right, listen to me. What's your address, Lee? I don't know who they are. They just smashed my windows and everything. They're in my house. No! There's nothing here. Please help. Please.
Listening to that 999 call is quite harrowing. You know, at that point, you can hear that family is in turmoil and they are absolutely scared at their wits' end. This could have gone really horribly wrong, where someone could have been really, really seriously hurt.
With the motive unclear, detectives need to identify the attackers before they strike again.
Good morning, my name's Jonathan, I'm calling from CID.
I'm just calling in regards to a burglary that occurred last night.
We're dealing with some really dangerous people in this investigation. There's not many people we deal with who would commit this level of violence and intrusiveness into another person's home and threaten them with weapons. The quicker we can get them off the streets, the better, to be honest.
So this is the front of the victim's address.
The CCTV of the gang committing the crime is now being reviewed.
1, 2, 5 males that have attended. Well, one with visible weapons. That they've used a hammer, sledgehammer, to smash the front window, but then they've prized it apart and climbed through quite rapidly, literally within a matter of seconds. A couple of strikes to the windows and then they're in. It has happened quite quickly. It's been quite a quick attack. And then the vehicle subsequently gets taken. I'm just going to re-watch the footage again just to try and ID any of the suspects. A couple of them are wearing quite distinctive clothing. Male 1 appears clearly quite forensically aware of everything. From the footage, he's got his face covered, he's got gloves on. And then male 2, I mean, these are quite distinctive, the trousers with the 2 reflective stripes. But he too's got gloves, face covering. Male 3, 4 and 5 are all literally gloved up, hoods very close, tight. They're all wearing gloves, so fingerprints wouldn't be obtained from anything. We don't have a great deal to go by.
The team are unable to identify the suspects from CCTV. But if they can find the stolen car or a potential getaway vehicle, it could help track them down. And statements taken from witnesses have provided a lead.
Witnesses described to us a blue box-type van arriving at the target address. 5 males alight from the van, and then the attack begins at the address.
A team of detectives are dispatched to search for more CCTV in a bid to track the van.
So if we can find the vehicle, either the stolen motor vehicle or the one that they used to come and go from the address, that would be really helpful. It probably was that van was used to transport some people there so that they could then take the victim's car and then they could both move off separate ways. It makes it more difficult for us to catch them, but not impossible.
Investigating an incident which happened up the road, and I've just seen you've got some cameras up. Do you have access to them at all?
Whilst officers are tasked with finding footage of the getaway vehicle and the stolen car, the team turn their attention to forensics. Can items found at the scene provide any clues?
In terms of CSI, there is blood on the banister.
Yeah.
They forensically recovered a vape pen that was inside the front living room. The sledgehammer that was used to cause damage and entry into the address is forensically recovered by CSI. I think our main opportunity there, boss, if you're in agreement, is probably the vape pen.
I would, depending upon the blood, I would agree, yeah. Because I think the banister, it could quite easily be the victim's blood.
So we're going to be led by forensics, but that is in the process of being done this afternoon.
Both the sledgehammer and the vape will be sent off for forensic testing.
So this is the vape that's been located from the front room of the address. Both the homeowners, they've said neither of them smoke vapes, which would indicate that this has been left by a suspect.
The vape found at the scene is a particular focus of the forensic investigation.
The suspects were all quite forensically aware on entering the property. They've all covered their hands, so DNA from fingerprints is very minimal. However, we can obtain DNA from the mouthpiece of this vape. Hopefully there's some saliva or something that can be obtained. This will now go off to our forensic lab, hoping to get some DNA from it.
Detectives will have to wait for the results. But with an armed gang still on the loose, the team are urgently trawling through new CCTV footage that's been collected with the aim of identifying the blue getaway van.
I don't reckon that's his van. You don't think it is?
No.
So we can discount that.
Oh, here we go.
One of the CCTV cameras has provided a lead.
So what have you got then?
So we've got, there. Van, it appears to be blue on here. Followed by what I would believe is probably the vehicle that they've taken from the address.
Is this the van carrying the violent suspects?
Are we able to say what that van is, do we think?
I don't know. I don't know if we'll get anything from that. The footage is it's not clear enough to be able to slow it down.
Quite blurry, isn't it?
Yeah.
We really need to identify the van.
If this is the getaway vehicle, it's a major breakthrough in the hunt for the armed gang. Police are hunting a gang of suspects after a terrifying armed robbery at a family home.
Literally in within a matter of seconds.
A sledgehammer and a vape, believed linked to the suspects, have been sent for forensic testing.
Oh, here we go.
Detectives have CCTV of a possible vehicle, and a mobile phone stolen in the burglary has been recovered.
None of you touched this, have you? No.
212, just having a look at.
The team now need to confirm the van is the one used by the gang.
This is the blue van, the target vehicle that's carrying the suspects arriving.
Using further CCTV, detectives have tracked the van's movements before and after the burglary.
This is showing the target vehicle arriving towards the victim's address. I think it's 9:24 when it arrives. So now we've moved on 5 or 6 minutes, and if we watch carefully, we get further footage which shows the target vehicle and the stolen vehicle leaving. That gave the suspects a period of time of approximately 5 to 6 minutes to commit the offence, which correlates with the 999 call that is placed by the female victim.
In establishing an accurate window of opportunity for the robbery to have taken place, the team now have good evidence this is the attacker's vehicle, but they still need to track it down. So they focus on the industrial estate where the victim's stolen phone was recovered.
At some point they've discarded the female victim's mobile phone, which we've managed to recover. So the location where the mobile phone was recovered from, there's a potential to yield better quality CCTV to try and identify the vehicle that the suspects arrived and left in.
So we're going to head down to that location, and then we're going to do some CCTV inquiries around that location just to see if we can find the vehicle in question. We need to discover the licence plate to that vehicle.
With multiple businesses at the location where the phone was recovered, can they generate any new leads?
So this is where the mobile phone was discarded. I just need to see if you've got any CCTV that covers the very front of this property.
We have CCTV, but we run our generator, so when we finish on a weekend, there's no CCTV.
Right.
So.
Okay. So it wouldn't have captured anything at 9 o'clock. Right, okay. No problem. All right, cheers for that, thank you. I'll pop next door, see if they've got anything. Morning. Just from the police, from CID in Scunthorpe, have you got any CCTV outside at the front of here? There's been an incident late last night.
Okay, well, we've got cameras. I'll show you outside. We've got one they cross.
Yeah. Would it capture anything on over there?
Not in good
yeah.
definition, but have you been to Parker's?
Not yet, no. I'm working my way,
yeah,
doing
but
a loop.
Parker's have got brand new CCTV in it.
Okay, fabulous.
The officers have one last premises to try that has cameras overlooking the route the getaway van is believed to have taken.
I'm PC Panther from Scunthorpe CID. Okay. We're after looking at your CCTV, if that's possible. Is it you that I need to speak to?
I've got the camera.
Fabulous stuff, yeah.
I've got that one.
Right, I'll just look at that.
Oh, okay.
That's up there looking.
Yeah.
When do you want to?
So, any time shortly after 21:27 last night. I'm just interested in trying to locate a licence plate of the car. Yeah. Oh, that might be it. 39:27. That's definitely around that.
CCTV cameras on the property have picked up a van just minutes after the suspects fled the scene.
There's a black car that's been taken from the address, which may or may not have been in convoy with that vehicle. See, our digital forensic unit might be able to slow it all down and pick up
a bit,
pick up a VRM from the footage. Thank you so much. Yeah.
They won't know if they can obtain a license plate number from the footage until they can analyse the clip back at the station.
located the van on its own and not in convoy with the car, which would suggest the vehicle maybe turned right and the van's gone in the direction of the left.
Could the vehicles have split up in an effort to evade the police?
Now I've got it on a larger screen. The quality's not going to be good enough to be able to obtain the licence plate from the van, unfortunately.
It's a setback for the investigation. And DS Stead meets DI Archer to discuss the next steps.
We've been out to where the mobile phone was discarded from the female victim.
That's, the deposition site for the mobile phone.
Yep. We have recovered some CCTV.
Yeah.
However, the vehicle can be seen from reasonably far away. You can't make out the make and model clearly or the VRM.
Yeah. So we've got some forensic samples that have been sent off. We just need to ensure that the forensic lab are given direction that we need those back as quickly as we can to identify who's committed this offence. We need to chase them, put some pressure on them.
Yeah, of course, no problem.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
The team have sent a vape and a sledgehammer found at the scene to be forensically tested. The items could reveal crucial DNA profiles of the suspects.
Oh, hi Debbie, it's Becky from CID in Scunthorpe. I'm just ringing to chase up a DNA hit, just to see if you've got any results on it. Right, okay. Thank you so much, see you later. Bye. Bye. No result as yet. She said it was on a 48-hour turnaround, which I should get something back this evening.
The team will have to wait.
We've not been able to ascertain anything from any of this CCTV so far, so we are really hanging everything on the DNA that comes back from the lab. Should anything come back from there, if we get nothing back from the forensic submissions lab, we still won't have anybody.
I need to find out who these 5 people are. They're clearly very dangerous. But it's just a waiting game now.
Will the lab results provide the breakthrough they need?
PC Panthers, Scunthorpe CID. Oh, fabulous stuff. All right, thank you so much. Bye. Bye. They found a profile on the blue vape that was left within the address.
A search of the police database has come back with a DNA match.
The profile that we've got back, it matches a male by the name of Graham Green. We've got a profile on the vape and then a mixed profile on the sledgehammer. He's from County Durham. County Durham's a fair distance from here, so I don't know what connection he's got to the Scunthorpe area or if he's got any connection to anybody in our area. He's obviously been known to the police with his offending history.
With a track record of violent offences and his DNA being found on several objects at the crime scene, Graham Green is now suspect number 1.
So now we've got a name for this guy. He's been circulated on our police database. That gives us the opportunity to contact County Durham's constabulary and then ask for active arrest attempts from their force at the known address that we have for him.
Police search for Green at his last known address, but are unable to locate him. With a violent offender on the loose, his name is circulated with forces across the country. Police fear he has gone to ground. until a call from a neighbouring force comes in.
Graham Green, Graham Green was located at an address in Doncaster by a neighbouring force in South Yorkshire.
After being arrested for an unrelated offence, Green is linked to the violent home invasion and booked into custody.
Yeah, aggravated burglary. DB's been named by a police inquiry as a victim's criminal with more other suspects and smashed the window with a sledgehammer. Assaulted multiple people in distress.
You've been in custody here before? No. You've been in custody at all before? He's got his right to consult time with the solicitor?
No, because I don't even know what's going on, like.
Police now have 24 hours to question and seek charges for Green, or they'll be forced to release him. PC Liam Greenwood is assigned the task of interviewing the suspect.
So this chap here with the sledgehammer, I believe is Graham Green. It would make sense why his DNA is on there. The front room is the living room, and that's where the vape was found. So obviously we suspect Graham is the one that's gone through the window with the sledgehammer. As he's gone in, if he's got vape in his pocket, obviously climbing through a window, that's ample opportunity for a vape to fall out and you not notice. So he's got previous for burglary and theft, criminal damage, got previous here for GBH, which is the highest level of assault, telling me that he's, a violent individual. He's got multiple convictions for assault and burglary. He's dangerous. He's the sort of person to do this. The first half of the interview is his part, so I want to get an account from him, what he has to tell me. Once I'm sort of happy that I've got his account, I start drip feeding in the evidence. He's opted not to have a solicitor, which means prior to interview, we don't have to disclose any of our evidence. So we'll be going into this interview and he won't know anything what we've got on him.
Detectives are now ready to interview Green. Will he admit playing a role in the attack? And will he name anyone else involved?
We're here in Bircham Way, custody suite in one of the interview rooms. So far you've opted to not have a solicitor or speak to one.
Yeah.
Can I ask why that is?
Because I don't think I need one at this time of moment, so just see how it goes.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. So you've been arrested for aggravated burglary, and police inquiries have identified you.
I don't even know how that is even possible.
Okay. So can you tell me anything about this?
No, I can't tell you anything.
Okay, why is that?
I don't know anything.
You don't know anything?
No.
Okay, so on the 4th of February, can you tell me what you were doing?
I would have been at home.
You would have been at home?
Yeah, because I don't go anywhere.
Right,
I didn't
okay.
even leave Alpha. I literally don't. This is the first time I've left Alpha. The first time I went to Doncaster today, we went to the police station.
Right, okay.
First time I've left.
In how long?
Since I got here.
Since you got here?
Yeah,
which was
5 months.
5 months?
Yeah.
Okay.
So where did you live before that? Durham.
Yeah.
So what's brought you to Donny?
I got evicted from my flat.
All right, okay.
Do you know people from Scunthorpe?
No.
Do you know people that would go into Scunthorpe?
No.
No? Okay. So on the 4th of February, have you attended Scunthorpe at any point on that day?
No.
So I'm just going to show you some CCTV. This is where we see the 5 lads come, and that one's got a sledgehammer. You all able to tell me who anybody is in this footage?
No.
Are you in this footage?
No.
See the sledgehammer go through the window. Can you tell me who anybody is in this footage?
No.
Sure you're not in this footage?
Sure.
It's at the point where they take the car. Do you know who's taking it? Do you have any reason to be linked to this house?
No.
Would you be forensically linked to this house? No. Okay. Do you have any issues with your memory?
No.
No? Nothing like that? Do you have any issues with drink?
No.
Alcohol?
No.
Any issues with
No.
drugs? Recreational drugs or prescribed?
No problem, no.
Do you smoke, vape?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
What do you smoke?
Cigs and vapes.
Cigs and vapes, do you? Right, okay. CSI attended afterwards and examined the house. The police had noticed a vape pen in the front room. This is the vape. Is that a vape of yours?
No.
Would this vape be linked to you?
No.
Okay. So that vape in that living room was forensically tested and your DNA was found on that vape. What can you tell me about that?
Police have arrested a man after his DNA was found on a vape that was left at the scene of a violent home invasion.
We're here in one of the interview rooms. So can you tell me anything about this?
No, I can't tell you anything.
Okay, why is that?
I don't know anything.
You don't know?
No.
Graham Green has so far denied any involvement.
Is that a vape of yours?
No.
Would this vape be linked to you?
No.
Okay.
But detectives are now putting their key evidence to him. Will he change his story?
That vape in that living room was forensically tested and your DNA was found on that vape. Okay, what can you tell me about that?
My DNA was found on that vape.
Yeah.
Can't tell you anything about that.
Why is that?
Don't know.
Can you tell me anything as to why your DNA is on a vape which has been found in a crime scene?
I haven't got an answer for that. Don't know.
How do you think that looks?
Looks really bad.
You're offering me no explanation as to how that's got there. So I put it to you that you was there and you've been involved in this incident. Is that true?
No.
No. Are you sure there's nothing you want to tell me now?
No.
I put it to you that your prior convictions paint you to be a dangerous, capable, convicted burglar. Now we found a vape with your DNA in the scene of a burglary. How does that look?
It looks bad, like.
Were you involved in that?
Yes.
You were?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
I was the one who went through the window.
Tell me everything about it then.
I can't tell you no more. I can't. That's all I did. I just went through the window and opened the door. Then I waited downstairs.
Okay.
That's all I did.
Okay. Why did you do that?
No comment. That's all I want to say.
Right, how have you come to be involved with this, with them?
Temptation.
Temptation?
I mean,
What do you mean by that? Is it financial temptation?
a little bit, you know.
A little bit, yeah. How did you get back home?
Not van.
In that van? Whose van was it?
Couldn't tell you.
I mean, ultimately, I appreciate the fact that you're saying all you did is go through the window with the sledgehammer and stay downstairs. You didn't do anything else. But ultimately, you have been involved in this. How was this organised?
I don't know.
Was it over phone?
Not by me.
Where did you get the sledgehammer from?
One of them bought it.
One of them brought it? Yeah. Right, okay.
With Green admitting his role in the burglary, detectives now focus on the remaining suspects.
Who are they?
I can't say that.
Why?
I shouldn't have to take this all on myself.
You shouldn't. If your role in it has been limited to what you said, then
no, but I can't give up any of them. I can't, because I know it's me.
it's not fair. If that's all the involvement you've had, then you shouldn't be taking all the blame for it.
We'd have to.
Essentially, these people have got you into a lot of trouble. It's obviously a serious offence. I mean, you've heard what's happened, you've seen the pictures and stuff. You're not doing them any favours by not saying who it is.
I don't know how it goes, man, but I'm not doing myself any favours by telling you who we are either.
Is there anything you want to get off your chest whilst we're in an interview? You feel any remorse?
I've thought about it loads and loads of times, believe me. I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to go down like that. I didn't know it was going to go down like that.
How did you think it was going to go down?
Not like that.
Okay. In that case then, we'll close it up and we'll end the interview there.
Detectives have managed to obtain a confession from their suspect number one. But Green has refused to give up the names of the other members of the gang.
It's quite common in suspect interviews that they very much won't dob their mates in. It could be for a number of reasons. They maybe just don't want to help the police. They don't want to see their friends in custody or in prison. But they could also be frightened of the other people that they've been working with, which is something we see quite often. Whilst they're all involved, there might be a principal offender who's that little bit worse, who, should their name come up, would make the other suspects' lives hell if they ever get hold of them again.
With time running down on Green's custody clock, PC Panther and DI Archer meet to review the case.
The motive for this is still a bit undecided, really.
Yeah.
And Green's given a bit of an account, but nothing particular.
No, nothing at all.
The suspect's mobile phone, has that been examined?
It has, yeah.
Anything on that?
Nothing that's anything in regards to the incident or anyone.
And obviously he's admitting being present anyway, so that's as far as that examination needs to go. As long as there's nothing on there that's going to identify the other suspects.
No, there's no conversations of anyone.
Then we're just left with the unknown DNA profile on the sledgehammer.
Yeah.
So with a bit of luck, that'll come back to someone in time as and when the new profiles land on their system.
Yeah.
So I think we're ready to take this to CPS.
With the weight of evidence against him, the Crown Prosecution Service agree to charge Green.
You got charged on the 4th of February 2024, having entered as a trespasser, burglaring keys and a mobile phone, and at the time of committing the said burglary, you had with you a weapon of offence, namely a sledgehammer and an axe. Do you have any reply to that charge?
I didn't have an axe, but go on, continue.
On the 4th of February, stole a motor vehicle. Do you have any reply to that charge?
I didn't steal a car.
CPS have sought to remand you at the court tomorrow.
I'm over the moon. We've got to a position where we've been able to charge Mr. Green with aggravated burglary. There is still 4 outstanding suspects that we need to identify, so however happy I am, that happiness won't last. The pressure will be put back on my staff to identify the other 4 people. We have an outstanding DNA profile from the handle of the sledgehammer that was used in the offence. At some point, we will identify who that DNA profile belongs to. Now, whether that's this week, this month, this year, 5 years' time, that person will be identified. This was a horrific ordeal for our victims, and we will get justice in the end for them.